Good to see you back again.
Yeah, you too.
What can you tell us about this new record, The Suburbs? I mean, the general feeling of it is that it's the best record you guys have made, and you were just saying you feel that way, I think.
Yeah, I mean, usually by the time we finish a record, I never want to hear it again, and in this one I found myself actually wanting to listen to, which I don't know what that means, but yeah, I'm really excited with how it came out.
Yeah. The starting point for the record, was it a song, was it a mood, was it a word, was it a feeling?
Well, we took the better part of a year off after touring Neon Bible, and we didn't really have a plan of how it was going to all come back together and when we'd start playing together again. And I think I wrote the song The Suburbs, and that was kind of the first time we started playing, and then kind of it felt like we were making a record all of a sudden, but it wasn't. There was no plan of like, we're going to make an album now, but I think that's when it kind of started to come together.
What a great song to start the whole thing with, because that's quite an upbeat sound, and it has a really nice feel to it. It's quite, jaunty in a way, the way it flows along,
Yeah.
Was that, did that sort of maintain the mood of the record from that point forward? Because there's a few dark songs on there as well.
Well, we did a lot of living and a lot of writing, and I really think that music always comes from your life, and I just feel like we really needed to have life to write about. And so, there were a ton of songs. I mean, there's 16 tracks on the record, and there were probably another 10 or 12 that we were really seriously working on, and we kind of edited as we went.
It must have been quite a hard experience trying to sort of let songs go for the sake of one record.
It was, I mean, even just because I think we forgot that having more songs is that much harder.
Yeah.
Like twice as many songs is twice as hard. But yeah, just the kind of the finishing touches on everything, because we're so compulsive about just wanting to have all the details right.
I wondered about that, because so much of the vibe about you guys when you came out was that it was energy, and it was musicality necessarily over the perfection. The live shows were chaos, and it was you putting so much into it. But I wondered whether or not there was an obsessive compulsive vibe in the band.
Well, I really think doing stuff that's free is the hardest thing to do. I mean, like keeping things simple and when we were making this record, I found Ed O'Brien kept a journal when they were making when Radiohead were making Kid A, and it was like just reading it was really rang true. There was some bit about one of the songs, and he was saying that it's the simplest song on the album, and we started it a year ago, and we just finished it today, and it has all the same things that were in it the day we recorded it 1 year ago.
You got to go away to come back.
It takes you all the way to come back to where you started from.
What was the song on this record that was like that? What was the hardest one to rein in?
I mean, a song like Month of May was one of the first things we cut. I mean, we cut it in May, and just for us to wrap our heads around the idea of doing such a simple song, it was like one of the last ones that we were finishing, even though it's essentially just the bed tracks from the first time, from a year before. But it was just kind of how it was just a little out of our comfort zone.
You talked about sort of living life and wanting to put that into your music, and I think that is ultimately what all great musicians should aspire to, is to dig within and pull from experience. And yet, in the year that you went out and lived that life, regained some kind of normality, I suppose, from the band. But the record, from what I can gather, is sort of essentially conjuring up emotions from a younger age. Is it a bit of both?
I mean, to me, it was about trying to connect to. I think that in life in general, you want to understand where you came from and where you are, and to have that line make sense. And I think that's when people start to feel schizophrenic about their own life, is where you came from and where you are don't make sense. And so I think part of writing about where you came from is understanding where you are.
Can you let go of that now that you've made that record? Can you let a certain amount of where you've been go in order to move forward?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like just trying to, like putting old photos in a book or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's things that will just fall to ruin if you don't actually document them in some way. Because
Yeah.
a lot of times, that's the amazing thing about music is you hear a song that from when you were younger and it just brings back exactly how you felt then.